We're on the record in cause number 322034. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Michael Stephen Lewis. Mr. Lewis, would you raise your right hand? Mr. Lewis, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Lewis?
Good. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Lewis, the information in this case alleges that on or about January 24th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault family violence. Mr. Lewis, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Lewis, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, Lewis, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Mr. Lewis, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Lewis, is that your signature? I think he's supposed to put his initials. Huh?
That's right, sir.
These your initials?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, prior to, your initials on the line next to the box that's titled Nola Contender, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And on page 3, is that your, are these your initials or is that your signature?
My signature.
Okay. I'm gonna get this back to you. He needs to change that. The back of this is an eraser. He just need to put his initials right here, not his signature. Mr. Lewis, are these your initials on page 2 of this document?
Yes, sir.
Next to the line that's titled Nola Contender, which means no contest.
Yes, sir.
And on page 3 of the same document, is this your signature above the line that says defendant?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these, there are 2 boxes checked at the top of this document. The first box state that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Correct.
The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis, I have another document before me. Oh, she put them, you don't have them, okay. This document is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bruce Smith, you don't have to put a 19 in front of that number. We don't designate our numbers like that. That's how the felonies designate there.
What a night.
No, you gotta take that 19 out. You can white it. You can white it out. 19 doesn't go there.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Oh, it's all right. We can just. Okay. Now, Mr. Lewis, prior to signing and initialing all of these documents that I just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like also offer State's Exhibit number 2?
Yes, Your Honor, the PC affidavit, we have that as well.
No objection.
Okay, no objection. State's Exhibits number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2 are admitted. Mr. Smith, you've advised and counseled Mr. Lewis. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No.
Mr. Lewis, your attorney, Mr. Smith, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, I'll accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of no contest and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, the agreement that's been reached is 1 year jail, and that's probated for 15 months. It's $1,000 fine, 80 hours community service, anger management as a condition of probation, also drug and alcohol assessment, and he's to have no contact with the victim, Faith Hennigan.
He also had drug education listed.
And you said, let's see, also on the misdemeanor plea admonishment form, is he attend drug education, anger management, no contact with Faith Hennigan, drug and alcohol assessment?
That is correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's drug education too.
Well, it's drug and alcohol assessment.
Yeah, but I'm looking at here, one box checked, attend drug education class, and then it says other, it has anger management, no contact with Faith Hennigan, and then they have drug and alcohol assessment. So those are two different,
Yeah, it was just supposed to be the drug and alcohol assessment.
okay, who filled it out? Okay. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Y'all can, is that box was checked up there?
He did not attend.
That's what he said. I'll have to. Okay, thanks. Okay, now, Mr. Lewis, the state is offering that you serve 1 year in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you will be on probation for 15 months. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $1,000 plus court costs of $367, which comes to a total of $1,367. You will also be required to pay $60 each month, a probation fee, and $15 each month for your analysis fee. Your total monthly installments will be $175 per month. Mr. Lewis, will you be able to pay the $175 per month?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, you will also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, pay a fine of $100 to the Family Violence Center. That fine is $100 to the Family Violence Center. And you would have to attend and complete the anger management class, have a drug and alcohol assessment, and you cannot have any contact with Faith Hennigan, and you will also have to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Mr. Lewis, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you've entered into with the state. Mr. Lewis, you stand on the X next to your attorney and follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Smith, I think, is this your last case?
No, yeah.
Okay.
That's Freddie Zinn.
Zen, okay. Freddie Zen.
Right hand in that group there. Mr. Smith, before you
It's
leave,
Mr. Zen right there.
take it up again. Bruce, right down. Bruce. Before you leave, proceed. Pick it up again and don't press.
We're on the record in cause number 326-420. The case is styled the State of Texas versus Freddie Cornelius Zen III. Mr. Zen, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Zen, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Zen, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Zen?
I'm fine. Yourself, Your Honor?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Zen, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Bruce Smith. Mr. Zen, I have before me, let's see. Okay, Mr. Zen, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about March 31st of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Zen, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to this charge, Mr. Zen, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Zen, I also have before me a document that is titled the misdemeanor plea admonishments. And in this document, it's also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on page 2 of the same document, Mr. Zen, are these your initials?
Yes, Your Honor.
On the line that's titled nola contendere, which means no contest. Now, Mr. Zen, I also have on page 3 above the line, this titled defendant, is that your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next document, which is the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
I also have a document before me that is titled the discovery certification. And Mr. Zen, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Zen, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you also like to offer State's Exhibit Number 2?
Yes, Your Honor, the probable cause affidavit.
No
Any-
objection.
No objections. State's Exhibits Number 1 and State's Exhibit Number 2 are admitted. Mr. Smith, you've advised and counseled Mr. Zen. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Zen, your attorney, Mr. Smith, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Zen, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of no contest and waiver was freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, did we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
It's for 180 days, probated over 18 months, $750 fine, 80 hours community service, DWI education course, drug and alcohol assessment, and interlock device.
Okay, Mr. Zen, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in jail because you will be placed on probation for 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $750 plus court costs, and the total fine and court costs is $1,167. You will also be required to pay $60 each month for probation fee and $15 each month for a urinalysis fee. And you will be required to reimburse the county $250 for the court-appointed attorney's fees. You'll also be required to pay the Jefferson County DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, the total monthly installments that you would have to pay for this case is $160 per month. Would you be able to pay the $160 per month?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Zen, you'll also be required to perform 80 hours of community service. You'll be required to attend the DWI education and alcohol assessment, and you would have to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate, as well as you would also have to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Now, did I mention that you'll be required to do 80 hours of community service?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Zen, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Zen, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you've entered into with the state. Mr. Zen, stand on the X next to your attorney. And once you finish following the directions of the clerk, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You'll put your right hand in the loose square. All right. Go ahead and sign this black box right here in front of you. You won't be able to see it.
You have another
I
case?
have two other announcements. It's, one is a trial, requesting trial.
Okay,
The other is requesting more time so I can get the medical record.
okay, hold on a minute. Let me shoot.
Felony, misdemeanor, this or any other state except for the cases listed here. For this where you mentioned this is pending.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
The other-
We got Darrell Washington.
Yes.
Okay, we're on the record in cause number 320832. Mr. Zen, that door is locked. Okay. We're on the record in cause number 320832's case is styled the state of Texas versus Darrell Washington.
Darrell Washington. Darrell Washington. Darrell Washington.
He was just here, Judge. I don't know what happened.
Not responding outside of this.
Okay, let's see.
In the bathroom or something.
Sign Mr. Osorio's.
Washington here. We're on the record in cause number 325374, the state of Texas versus Donald Ray Lewis. Mr. Lewis, would you come forward? Your full name is Donald Ray Lewis.
Yes, ma'am.
How you doing, Mr. Lewis?
Good, can I have one, okay?
Okay, that's good. Now, Mr. Lewis, you're represented by attorney Bruce Smith. Mr. Smith, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Lewis' case?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is suffering from leukemia, and I need more time to be able to get the medical records so I can share with the DA.
Okay, how much time you need?
60 days.
60? Okay, we're gonna reset Donald Ray Lewis for 60 days. You can get your reset from our
Yes, Your Honor.
court coordinator and Mr. Lewis. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go.
Thank you.
And you, we'll be praying for you that you have a speedy recovery.
Thank you, sir.
All right. You have a blessed day. Did we have a?
Not showing that you signed.
Let's see. Oh.
I don't know, Mr. Washington, he was here earlier, he is not here now, we called him, we can't get a hold of him.
Okay,
I don't know what happened.
and you said it was Washington.
Yeah, Daryl Washington. That was one we're requesting a trial setting. I don't know if there was a misunderstanding. And
Well, I don't know. We'll give you some time to locate it.
yes, Your Honor.
We still in session. Okay. We're on a record in cause number 319690, State of Texas versus Alan Rosemore. Your full name is Alan Rosemore? How you doing, Mr. Rosemore? I'm doing fine. Mr. Rosemore, you're here with your attorney, Attorney Brian Matuska. How you doing, Mr. Matuska?
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. Oh, good morning.
Yeah.
Mr. Matuska, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Rosemore's case? You want to keep it on the trial docket?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you'll get a trial setting from our court coordinator. Mr. Rosemore, you can take a seat. You're gonna your case is gonna be reset for trial. And once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we're on the Archibald. Eustace Archibald. Okay, we're on the record in cause number 321311, cause number 321313. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Eustace Archibald. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Archibald, how are you doing?
Pretty good, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Mr. Matuska, you like to keep Mr. Archibald's cases on the trial docket?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, now, could you check and see if he has bond conditions?
Okay, what's the call number?
No, let me see, the cause number is 321313. DWI second. Okay. Mr. Archibald, does he have a interlock device on his vehicle?
No, I don't have a vehicle.
I don't think he ever got the bond conditions over to the judge.
Okay.
We can provide proof of that within
Okay.
time required.
I should have put.
Judge, I think the issue might have been that he didn't have a vehicle.
Okay, but yeah, I still have to give him
Still have to
the
get
his
it.
bond conditions.
Yeah.
Any vehicle that he don't operate. Let me, I should have put this other number on here too. This 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 1. I want you to pass these. Oh. Mr. Archibald, you've just been handed a document that is titled Standard Bond Conditions in County Court at Law Number 2. And this is for cause numbers 321311 and cause number 321313. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
Now I'll go over these conditions with you. And it reads, following arrest and or accusation in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein or ordered subject to the following additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who, A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs and alcohol in the defendant's body. And that's pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, Section A2 and Section C2. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Now, condition number 3 states that the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And condition number 4, this applies to your DWI second case. A defendant who has been arrested or accused of any subsequent offense listed under section 49.04 through 4906 of the Texas Penal Code shall not operate any motor vehicle unless the vehicle is equipped with an interlock device mechanism that makes impractical the operation of the vehicle. If ethyl alcohol is detected in the breath of the operator, the said device shall be installed at the defendant's expense with written verification of such installation being submitted to the court on or before the 10th day after today. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now that's your copy. You can keep that copy for your records. Now, should you violate any terms and conditions of this probation, of this bail or this bond, then your bond may be revoked, and it's revoked. You could be arrested and put in jail. Okay, so please adhere to those bond conditions. Now, Mr. Matuska, you can get Mr. Archibald's case reset. You're keeping him on the trial docket, is that correct?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, so we can get your reset from our court coordinator. Once you get your reset from your attorney, Mr. Archibald, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. Just have a seat in the courtroom.
Does you want him to provide proof of, I guess, maybe his wife's vehicle?
Or if he, any vehicle that he own or operate.
Okay.
Okay. Jimmy Logsdown. We're on the record in cause number 324392. The case is styled as State of Texas versus Jimmy Ray Logsdown.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Logsdown?
Pretty good.
That's good. Mr. Logsdown, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Matuska. Mr. Matuska, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Logsdown case?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. We're asking for a 30-day reset to provide some medical information to the DA.
Okay, you're gonna reset it for 30 days?
Yes, sir.
Some medical information. To the district attorney.
That's gonna be on
Okay.
7/7. Please come see me, Mr. Matuska.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, your case will be reset to July 7th. Just stay in contact with your attorney, just have a seat in the courtroom. And once you finish, once your attorney gives you a reset, you'll be free to go.
Oh,
Brianna Chandler? We're on a record in cause number 327522. Case is styled of State of Texas versus Brianna Chandler. Ms. Chandler, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Ms. Chandler, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Ryan Matuska. Mr. Matuska, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Ms. Chandler's case?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. We have a companion felony case that I got reset today to July 22nd, Judge Stevens.
Okay. So you want this case, this misdemeanor case reset on the same day your felony,
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
which is July 22nd?
That's correct.
Okay, we can get your reset from our court coordinator. Ms. Chandler, your case has been reset the same day your felony case. Now, you have to come to two courts that day. So you'll come here and check in, then you go down the hall to the felony court and finish there, then you're gonna come back here so that we can get the, court date. If you fail to appear here, your bond can be forfeited. Okay, so just stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. Just have a seat in the courtroom. Your attorney's gonna give you a reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Matuska, I think this will, you have Corey Adams.
Your Honor, Mr. Kimler filed a substitution on that last night.
Oh, that's this right here. Oh, do you have any objections?
No, Your Honor.
There's the 9th. So you received a copy.
Mr. Kimler filed a copy with me.
Okay.
First time.
That's what we've been trying to tell them. They need to give you copies. That's why we want to make sure. All right.
Working at 10 o'clock last night.
Okay, so motion to substitute, order has been signed. I don't know where, he had checked in earlier, Mr. Corey Adams did.
Yeah, somewhere. The bailiff was-
Morning.
And what cause number is that, Judge?
328, well, we waiting for Mr. Adams to come in. He was here earlier. Oh, he went to the, okay, that cause number is 328640.
And I'm taking Mr. Matuska off and subbing Rife.
Yeah, I just signed the order, motion here.
Okay.
Who else we had? Oh, that's the one at Gilmore. Okay. Tyler Parker.
He's present.
Well, we're on the record in cause number 326300. The case is styled the State of Texas versus Tyler Parker. Your name is Tyler Wayne Parker.
yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Parker?
I'm doing all right.
That's good. Mr. Parker, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Tom Kelly. Mr. Kelly, how are you doing?
Just fine, Judge. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Kelly, you have an announcement you'd like to make in Mr. Parker's case?
Judge, we're going to make an application for the pretrial diversion program.
Okay, so now I think the next sign-up date is August.
That's right.
And so first week in August, we're gonna set this to the second week in August. Okay? Just hold on a minute. I think the last date she gave was August 18th to somebody. Just get with our court coordinator. Yeah, the last date she gave to the last person was August 18th for pretrial diversion. Get with our court coordinator. She's give you a date. Once you get the date, give it to your client and Mr. Parker. Once you get your date from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank
You can get your date.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Did Asa Jones come back? That was withdrew plea. It was reset. You have another,
Your Honor, the Daryl Washington, we just verified. There was a misunderstanding. We told him, that we were going to announce trial. And we walked into the courtroom and he thought he was free to go. He went back to work at United States Environmental.
he can appear via Zoom
That's
or,
what
okay.
Joanna is back there getting the information for him to appear by Zoom.
Okay, that's fine.
And she has it. She's coming in.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think we got it. Alan Williams. You didn't do it? Where is it? Alan Williams. Oh, you lost that. Okay, get Charles Landry. Charles Landry. Monty. We're on a record in two cases. First case is cause number 324736. Second case is cause number 327990. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Charles Landry. We have Mr. Landry, who's present in court. Your full name is Charles Larry Landry?
Yes.
Okay. How are you doing, Mr. Landry?
Good. And you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Landry, you're present with your attorney, Mr. Peter Dahl. Mr. Dahl, how are you doing?
Pretty fair, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Now, Mr. Dahl, I see your name is on one case. The second case, I don't see your name as being attorney of record on the protective order. Well, both on protective order violations.
Well, I'll send the letter in, Judge. I thought I was.
Okay. I just have a note here that he was to hire Peter Doyle. Now, Mr. Doyle, you want to keep this case on the trial docket?
Yes, sir.
Okay, get with our court coordinator,
October the 11th, and please come see me.
October 11th. Now, the second case, once you get your letter of rep in, then they'll put you on the case.
Okay.
Okay, just go see our court coordinator, get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. Mr. Doyle, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Landry, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Corey Adams, there was one that was from two schools, and then he said Lifeson.
Yeah, where is it? Okay, Mr. Adams, you hired Rife Kimbler. You come on up.
Judge, I need a quick break.
Okay. Just have a seat. Your case is gonna be reset. Our court coordinator is gonna give you a reset date. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go.